YouTubers, Electric Adventures here with a very special package in the mail. This is one that I've been waiting for quite some time, and it basically symbols the end of a large amount of work by one person in the Coleco community. So here's the box here. I blacked out one address, but I forgot the sender's address, so I'll just keep it out of sight. But opening it fresh, using my special package opening knife, I'm very careful. Okay, the corners of the box are dented, but it has inner packaging as well, so add a little bit of space. Right, so to give you a little bit of history on this, so this is back in the day, Coleco were going to launch what was called a super game module for the Coleco, allowing it to move to the next generation. But timing, because of the computer crash and everything like that, Coleco ran out of money and it was never released. One particular chap in the Colecovision community, he calls himself Opcodes Gains. How do I pronounce his name? I'll just say his first name, Eduardo. I hope I get that right. He secured the name rights from Coleco to reproduce that module. Now it's not 100% the same as what the original design was at, because that was going to include like a tape or solid state loading mechanism in it as well. But the main things that it added was the original Coleco only came with 1K of RAM. Now they expanded that with a Coleco Atom to 32K of RAM, allowing a lot more flexibility in the programming. But that was only the Atom users, and there weren't that many Atoms produced. So this module would have allowed normal Coleco users that extra memory and allowed to run larger programs. Also, the sound processor that was built into the Coleco was the sound processor from TI, and it's very limited in the sounds it can reproduce. So they added to the module the Yamaha sound chip that is found in the MSX machines. This will allow a lot of MSX games and also games. Just more complicated sound. In the end, you can actually still use the sound processor in the Coleco and the new one in the SGM, so you can potentially have 6 channels instead of just 3. So not only has he produced a device, but he's also replicated the packaging as you would have had a device back in the day. So here it is. Before I just keep on talking and not showing. So this is homebrew computer add-on to quality to the nth degree, and reading through the forums, he has fussed over this packaging to make sure that it truly does represent a product that would have been brought out by Coleco. It's even a little proof of purchase stamp there and everything like that. There's a little teaser about some of the games looking at bringing out, and on the end as well. So some of these obviously don't exist. Now there was an original Donkey Kong for the Coleco, but it was a launch game, programmed very quickly, and it's alright and it was good for the time, but the Coleco can do much better. There is a prototype, or video of the prototype on Opcode Games channel, which I'll try and find the link down below as well, and I'll put a link to his website as well. Now he did the original batch of 200, and they were sold out completely. That was to get all of these manufactured, but he's at the moment putting together the next batch, and he's up to the ordering the circuit boards. He's already got over 60 people in the second batch, so it's actually nice to know that 200-300 people still love their Colecos and still will buy a device to add on to it. And that will then inspire the homebrew game developments, releasing titles for the Coleco, to bring out new games that support this module. Because getting, most importantly, the RAM gets around one of the major limitations of programming for the Coleco. With only 1K, there's really not a lot of room to do things, and I mean, the Coleco has 16K of video RAM, but you've still got to move things around and transfer things, so it makes a big difference to what you can do in the games. And also, you know, if you've got low on memory, sometimes you have to sacrifice speed and you know, what you can do with changing sprites so you can get more of them on the screen. But with more memory, you can increase the speed of a lot of games and make them a lot better. So anyway, let's open him up very carefully, of course. But it's amazing the quality of this packaging. Take it out. So you have the instruction manual and consumer guide. There's a little errata slip in there. Well, not an errata slip, an little advertisement from Team Pixelboy. So looking for games for your Super Game module. As you can see, so far there are 4: Dragon's Lair, Zaxxon, King's Valley, and Thexter. Sorry, I don't have Thexter. I got Zaxxon and King's Valley, so we'll be able to have a bit of a look at those. I'm going to get Dragon's Lair and Thexter later on. So the games are still available. He brings them back. He's planning on releasing versions of The Goonies, which is the game that I recently showed for the MSX, an excellent game. Nightmare. A game for the MSX I don't have at the moment, but I played it back in the day. It is a really good game. The Stone of Wisdom. I'm not sure whether that's a conversion or a new title. Zanuck, of course, is the vertical scroll shoot 'em up. Spelunker, and Ya Kung Fu 2, which is another MSX conversion. So there's lots of good games coming out. I myself will be bringing out some games that support the module as well. Although with my games I'll try and make them, because you can actually, in your code, you can detect whether the Super Game module's there or whether an atom is there. So you can potentially have different streams in your code so that the cartridge will work on a normal Colecovision and then use the extra abilities of the Super Game module. But some games just need too much memory, and it's best just making them Super Game module only. Alright, so they've done the polystyrene by using multi-layer build-up, and it sits in a nice nesting thing. So there's the module itself. It's a nicely fashioned thing. So this is the bottom side. And it has a light, so you know it's working. So I should show it upside down. So there we go. So it's it's quite professional. It looks like something Coleco would have brought out. Solid, a nice connector on it and everything like that. So really professionally made. And I'm looking forward to trying it out. So there'll probably be a little gap between this part of the video and the play part, as is normal with my videos, but let's go give it a try. Here we go with Super Game module installed on my Coleco, and the first game I'm going to try is the Zaxxon Super Game. Now this game's a little different than the other ones. This game was actually brought out for the Coleco Atom, this version, and this cartridge will actually work in an Atom without the Super Game module as well. I don't know whether they've used any of the extra sound capabilities. I want to adjust my camera a little bit, sorry. Of the Super Game module. Now we've got a 1 to 8 here. It's a single player game only, and these are skill levels. Skill level 1 they don't shoot at you, so I'll go for skill level 2, which is sort of the beginner level rather than practice. So it starts out a bit like the original Zaxxon, except you go straight into the mode where you're fighting the planes, rather than being straight into a fortress. So here it's not a tremendous lot of difference between this and the original game. Right, now we're coming up to the first space. For those of you familiar with the original Coleco arcade game, I can already see... Oops. Wasn't low enough. A couple of differences. Now my fuel doesn't seem to be going down. It might be this particular level still doesn't count. You still don't run out of fuel. You know, it's not playing too badly. And obviously quite a different layout from the game as it was delivered. Just staying away from the fuel for a second to see whether my fuel goes. Ooh, it's fly sideways as well. Yeah, so the fuel is going down just fairly slowly. Oops, oh, got me again. Let's see if I can go a bit further, eh? So obviously, I mean, the general idea is to obviously get through the. Oh yes, and you've got that's a missile launch port. That mark on the ground. I should have known that. A force field. Right. Attacked by another plane there. Going out to a space section. So I think basically this game just adds more complexity to the game, more levels, which makes it a bit more interesting. And you can hold down either fire button and it repeat fires, so it's not wearing out your trigger finger. Okay, we've made it to that bit of space and we're going to the next bit of the fortress. And I believe it's got quite a few levels, whereas the original game only had, I think, 2. Some UFOs having a go at us at the moment. Oof. So a few UFOs to get rid of. Some more. Dodge those ones. Got a force field. Get more of these guys. As I said, first time playing this, so I don't know the level of the layout, the layout of the levels. Oops. Ah. Alright, now eventually I should get up to a big mothership somewhere. I'll just play it for one more. Oh, just one more little bit. I don't want. Ah, here we go. Now here's Zaxxon himself. Oops. And you've got to shoot. I think you've got to shoot Zaxxon's missile. Last life. Oh, and I got done. And it's got extra little things like I can play the same game, go to the option screen, or I can continue the game. And there's a Hall of Fame which obviously only lasts until the console's turned off. There's, you know, a slight increment, so the Super Game module allows you to play an added game, which basically just took advantage of more memory. Now let's try Kings Valley, which is an MSX port, which will take advantage of having the extra sound processor as well. Right, familiar Konami logo. Now this is a game that I don't have for the MSX at the moment, and I haven't played since, or back in the day. Let's look at the demo a bit. So it's a bit of a puzzle platform game. Looking pretty good. You just press fire to play. So you can appreciate we've already got better sound. Right, so we can basically jump. So that gives me a sword. Oh, a knife, that's right. So you can grab a knife. You can only pick up one object at a time. And while you've got the knife, you can't jump. So you actually need to work out, puzzle-wise, how to get through the levels. And obviously they respawn where they die. So it has been a long time since I played this. And now this one, obviously you need to make sure you're on the right platform, fall down in the right place to get the last... Uh-oh. So, and then it resets. Let's try again. Okay, so you can fall in distance. I'll be coming back in a minute. Uh-oh. Oh, silly me. I'm not doing a very good demonstration, am I? Let's go and get this one down in this bottom corner to start with. Oh yes, you can jump over them, thank goodness. So we obviously get the score every time we kill the bad guys, and they respawn back where they die. That was well timed. A bit of a fluke actually. And they've got the sound from Tutankhamun. Right. So you've got to jump near the button to open the door, and we go to our next stage. So there we go, and like a lot of the Konami games, they give you a map and stage progression. And now we have the next level. Now, in this level we have picks. And you need to get picks in the right place and the right order. Interesting. Okay, yeah, and you can't pick up a second object, and I can't jump. Right, so I'll put a hole there. Oops, oh. I'm not very good at figuring these out, am I? So you do need to be very careful about going down first. So let's come up here. So I'd say we need to dig a hole here, then come down here, grab that one, fall down here, and I've got myself stuck. I wonder whether you can abort a level. That's pausing. Oh yes, there we go, 5 in the middle kills you. Right, so as you can see, it's a puzzle platformer. Lots of fun. There was a Kings Valley 2 brought out for the MSX, and maybe one day they'll convert that over to the Coleco as well. And also perhaps one day I will get Kings Valley for the MSX as well. But as you can hopefully hear, a lot more depth to the music. Now there are 2 other Super Game cartridges from Pixelboy available. Thextor, which I don't know much about, but that's a new original title, and then you've got Dragon's Lair, which is also another Adam game that's been converted. From Opco Games himself, he has his better version of Donkey Kong, which has been rewritten from scratch. Looks a lot more like the arcade game, a lot more colourful, and a lot better as well. This really is not a very expensive device, and it turns the Coleco into so much more. Alright, so if you're a Coleco, interested in Coleco stuff, have Coleco hardware and want it to do more, and find out, get more into the some of the newer homebrew, I highly recommend putting your name down for one of these devices. I'll leave links down to the relevant things down the bottom of the video. So thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this pick-up come review video, and I'll catch you all next time.